So, hello everybody, welcome back. Yeah, I know you're disappointed. I did disappear into the sea at the last gassing on, and now I've returned on dry land again. And here I am at the NEC today. Bit of an annual pilgrimage, this one. We always come here September time for the Contaminated Land Expo, and we thought, what a time to try and catch hold of somebody for gassing on. So, who have I found lurking in the wings today?
Hello.
Adrian, how are you?
I'm good.
Full introduction, who have we got?
So, Adrian Brannock from ASP Environmental. We're environmental response and building remediation experts, basically. That's what we do.
Fan of the Gassing On channel?
Absolutely, 100%.
Brilliant, that's why you're on here. We like bringing, so Adrian, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where have you come from? What do you do? Where have you been?
So, being in this industry in terms of remediation, pretty much emerging contaminants and interesting contaminants, working for lots of multinationals over the years. Now running our own business in East Anglia, working mainly insurance related projects.
Excellent.
And mainly buildings, to be fair.
Well, our paths have crossed because primarily you've been putting gas protection in some of those measures, haven't you?
Yeah, well that's it. That's where we kind of come into it, is that we are quite often needing to retrofit membranes into existing buildings to deal with spills, mainly oil spills or other contaminant spills that have happened in the property. So we're trying to make it back livable again.
Excellent. How long have you been in the industry now then, Adrian? Is it, or is that a question I can't
20 plus years.
Yeah, that's good. 20 plus years.
Yeah,
but
getting on.
Yeah, good. And first of all, how are you finding the NEC today? How's it
really
looking?
Good. It's been really good. There's lots of really interesting new businesses as well, lots of new technologies that I think we've been having interesting chats to see whether we can bring them in, and we're always looking for more sustainable, more innovative solutions that we can bring to the table, really.
Brilliant. Well, we go for a little wander with my guests, and we've been inside for a good few hours, so we're going to have a little walk and talk. So come with us. It's nice to go for a wander with our guests. So I know we've got the beautiful facade of the NEC
which is pretty good. It's possibly a little bit overcast, so we might have to run at some point.
We can take cover. Yeah. So some of the things I like asking, and I'm always intrigued by your projects, Adrian, is the challenges that you're up against doing like retrofit work of gas protection. What are your main challenges?
Well, challenge normally is that every building is different. So even if it's standard construction, how the builders actually built it, it could be a 2-year-old building, could be a 400-year-old building. So how we need to deal with that is quite key, really. And so we've had to bring all of those skills in-house.
Yes.
Because you have to have that knowledge in-house, or else you're just not able to deal with it in an effective way. And ultimately, we need to put the house back together so that the homeowner or the commercial property owner doesn't have any issues going forward.
Yeah,
basically, that's the key. They need that reassurance that everything has been addressed and there's no ongoing risk. Quite
a challenge, I imagine, the homeowners, aren't they? In some of the,
Sometimes, but you can understand it. I mean, if you put yourself in their shoes, they don't. It's not nice to see somebody coming in and ripping your house apart.
No. And I've been to a few, and they do. That it makes a good mess of it, doesn't it?
It does, and and it can take. I think most builders will say that you can't really offer any guarantee on timeline until you're out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's normally a kind of a given acceptance, but we tend to live in the ground, and you don't really know how the oil has migrated beneath the property because we didn't build it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the substructures are, how the foundations have been backfilled, all of these things which may have been done in good practice or may have been done not in good practice.
Open a can of worms, I can imagine. Yeah. So, and again, insurance-wise, is that a big player in your sector as well, dealing with insurance?
So we primarily work for insurers.
Yes.
And so from that respect, they want that, say, guarantee, but at least that assurance that the work's been done by competent people, and that when we sign off on it at the end of the project, that they've put the homeowner or the insured party back in a position that they were in prior to the loss occurring, basically. And
a common question I come across is how regulations kind of stand for you guys, because obviously for the world of ground gas, a lot of the viewers will be familiar with British Standard 8485 and the codes of practice that are on new builds. Is there anything that exists for you in the retrofit world? Is there anything that kind of governs you, or?
I mean, I think there's there's guidance out there, Syria guidance, and we try to follow best practice techniques.
Is that 795? Is the?
I think so. I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'll leave that to the experts in the team.
Yeah.
You know, we train everybody who's involved in installing on what they need to do.
Yes.
By yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we obviously then look to put people through the NVQs if they're doing it more regularly.
Yeah.
Then we need people who are qualified as well.
That's it. So, well, Adrian, it's raining a bit.
It's only a mild drizzle.
Yeah, but look what we found here.
Ooh,
With the spoons. So we might have to pop in the pub and see how we get on for 10 minutes. So,
right, no worries.
Yeah. Adrian, we've just had don't tell anybody, we've just had a quick, we've
quiet. Don't mention it.
With the spoons was closed and they'd run out of beer. So, so carrying on, one of the other things, UK Spill Association, are you party to that? Are you?
Yeah, we're members of that and quite keen supporters, really.
Yeah.
Again, anything that kind of encourages the use of best practice and kind of promotes best practice in the industry.
Yeah.
I think everybody worries about a bad player.
Yes.
And what impact they can have on confidence.
Yes.
And Google is there now, so people will Google everything, and you need that reassurance, really.
Yeah, Dr. Google can be quite dangerous at times.
Can be, and I think it's it's an evolving space as well. So with regulations changing, standards improving, and regulators taking maybe stronger positions than they have done in the past.
Yeah, I think that harps back a little bit. We've just come to the bus stop. We're undercover, but we're in the bus stop area. It's a bit like
wander a little further on.
Yeah, I think it kind of brings the regulation back, because do you find local authorities sometimes get a little bit confused when they're dealing with, ground gas contaminants or oil spill contaminants, and finding legislation that fits with them? Do you find?
Well, I think it's a bit of it can be a little bit of a muddle, and quite often people try and apply standards that apply to a new build retrospectively.
Right. Yes.
And obviously it just can be often quite impossible to do. To apply. So we have to try and make do sometimes, and explain to people what we can and can't do.
Yeah.
And that's a real challenge, really.
Bit of a challenge. So well, that rain's coming down a bit heavier. This is one of our more different walks, in more of an industrial kind of NEC vibe. But I must admit, the NEC is quite busy today, though, which is good. Promising.
Yeah. No, it's busy. There's loads of people in there, and it's nice to see some familiar faces as well.
Good. So just should we wander back towards that? We'll wander back that way. And Adrian, what's the future hold for your sector and your business yourself? Is it looking promising? I know oil spills are a horrible thing. And
oil spills are horrible. I think my personal view is that oil obviously is a pretty carbon hungry fuel.
Yes.
And there's lots of discussions about boilers and phasing them out, etc. But I think my view is that the best option for that is alternative fuels.
Yes.
So carbon friendly, carbon zero fuels.
I've heard a little bit about these. So they're less impact on
less impact. Pretty much if we could put sustainable renewable fuels in play overnight, we could pretty much everybody's heating systems in East Anglia and all these rural areas could be carbon friendly overnight. And I think that would be where I would be putting my effort if I was government. But and because otherwise, what is the option? I mean, a lot of the houses we work in, you're just not going to be able to go air source, and electricity costs are so expensive.
That's it.
Is it viable, really?
Yeah, it's a big environmental challenge, isn't it? We all want heating. We live in a climate where we need heating. And
we want to make that impact as quick as possible. So the key is, right, can we actually just use the existing infrastructure, delivery systems, heating systems, and just change the fuel?
Brilliant. Yeah. So. Well, all the challenges of our sector, isn't it? So,
yes. Yeah, no, and that's it. And I think it's going to be an ongoing challenge. It would be interesting to see how the new government, policy changes, and see whether that changes
how that takes off.
What they're saying about boilers, etc.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything's going to change in our space anytime soon. I think we're seeing probably the big trend we're seeing in spills is is more buildings. So where people have changed their oil tanks more regularly, they've maybe put a new boiler in.
Right, yeah.
But they've not done anything to the oil line.
Okay.
So you might have a 60, 80-year-old oil line next to the house.
Yeah.
That then fails. So we're seeing much more building-related contamination rather than, the tank, which was 6 meters away from the house back in the day.
That's it. Well, we've ended up at this dreaded Witherspoons again.
I know.
I don't know. We've walked along,
drawing us back.
Yeah, I know. Well, Adrian, it's been a real pleasure to meet you and catch up.
Yeah.
And thanks for your little insights. It's always nice to post them out. And I'll put a little flyer up for you and your company so people
Appreciate
can
it.
come and find you. And hopefully you won't be calling Adrian for oil spill response.
But you can if you want.
You can if you want. But no, Adrian, it's been a pleasure, and thank you for a bit of gassing on there. Lovely.
Pleasure. Next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, time to leave the NEC, and looking forward, we're going to be back here again September next year, so there's a little flyer, see what's going on. But heading off to the train station now, and look forward to seeing you all on the next Gassing On. Here's Adrian's details for you, so catch you all next time. Cheers now, bye.